Hello, I'm Maggie Batista. I'm a writer, a storyteller, and an intuitive. I am also an advocate for surfacing the voice of your soul. It's a beautiful and ancient tool that exists within you to help you grow, to help you remember your wholeness, to help you hold yourself through change, to help you allow all those answers that you're looking for outside of yourself to surface from within. The voice of your soul is the calm and all-knowing wisdom and language that surfaces from within when we get quiet and listen. Today, I'm sharing why surfacing the voice of your soul may be relevant or helpful or interesting or perhaps even life-changing for you. You get to decide. I'll share how it's impacted me and how it may impact others. Now, to discuss the why, we first need to discuss what the soul's voice actually offers in greater detail. The primary role of your soul's voice is one of compassion. And when you begin to develop and cultivate a relationship with your inner voice, you get access to a powerful, accessible healing tool that helps you express your most authentic self as you step toward your truest pleasure and joy and service as it calls to you. And when I say compassion, I mean the inner voice helps you do three things that are very, very important. It helps you choose you, hold you, and soothe you. And by doing those three things, the voice of the soul is the original tool for self-compassion. Now, we're not talking about compassion for others yet, though it will naturally extend to others. But the soul's voice asks you to mind your own business and focus on choosing, holding, and soothing you first and foremost. Using very simple terms, your soul's voice will help you get very honest with yourself. It will help you meet yourself wherever you are and forgive yourself. And it will help you remember that you are innocent, even when you said a harsh thing to yourself, even when you said something harsh to someone else. It will help you allow your love for yourself to rise and self-soothe and give you the opportunity to see and hold yourself tenderly from within. Once you begin allowing your soul's voice to offer all the compassion, then it may likely graduate to offering you nuggets of other wisdom and guidance, and even some gentle but blunt truths. Ultimately, your soul's voice helps you remember how okay you truly are in all moments, in very tough situations, in the unknown, and when pursuing change and adventure. When I began recording and listening more deeply to the messages from the voice of my soul, I realized that over time, when the soul's voice told me how okay I was, I believed it. In fact, it was really the only voice that I believed without question. I questioned all the external voices, therapists, friends, partners, colleagues, and I certainly questioned the mind's voice. But each soul voice message was a balm in an otherwise turbulent time, sort of like the proverbial spoonful of honey that helped whatever medicine I was experiencing go down, also known as the ups and downs of this existence. And as I began hearing how perfect and enough I was over and over again in all situations, even when I was on the floor crying, even when I was worried about my survival, even when I felt the most alone that I had ever felt, I realized that I believed what my soul said. I believed me. And once I believed in myself, the truth that everything really was okay finally settled into my bones. On top of all that beauty, your inner voice can help you dismantle blocks, beliefs, and stories. The stories you tell yourself, the stories you allow others to tell you about you. In fact, after I allowed my soul's voice to offer its tender, compassionate words, after I learned to believe myself above everyone else, the inner voice became my most helpful tool in allowing me to feel into change and move toward my desires. And here's how that works generally. First, I may feel into something that I want to create, like a project or a trip, a collaboration, a job, an experience, some big joy. It can be anything. And then I may ask the soul's voice to clarify if this is something I really want. And the inner voice generally says, if it lights you up, then pursue it. You do not need to know why or if it's something you really want. Your deep desire is enough. So 3, I would take a step forward toward what I want. And let's say in that process that I pause for a million reasons. The reasons could be everything from procrastination to not believing in my abilities to feeling fear around the potential outcome to not being able to control the outcome. So 4, I would then go inward and ask the inner voice what paused me. I like to interrogate the pause. That self-inquiry is so helpful. And 5, if any feelings or energy rises around hearing that truth for me, from my body, I allow those feelings to rise and I let them move through me with breath, through breathing, with the elongated breath. Breath work is super helpful for this. So that 6, with greater self-trust, I get back to whatever I was making and take further steps forward. And then 7, if I'm paused again, I return to the soul's voice. I'll give you a very simple example to show you how the inner voice helps you take inspired action from a place of peace and confidence. Recently, I was having a few emotional moments. Now, let's be honest, I have a lot of emotional moments. I move through contrast with tears often. I used to see those tears as weakness, and now I know they're one of my greatest strengths. But I was about to start creating these videos on the soul's voice, and this call to produce these videos was a call from within. It just felt like a natural movement guided by my soul. And I was thinking about why I wanted to create these videos and whether anyone would even watch these videos. And I got scared and I paused. These emotions were bubbling up. And as they were moving around within, suddenly the soul's voice said, "Turn on your recording device. You don't need to close your eyes, just press record and talk." So I did as it asked. And the inner voice proceeded to drop 15 minutes of truth about each and every block I had been feeling. It made it so simple, and it held me with tenderness. And once I sat with its guidance, this list of explanations for all the blocks I was feeling up against, it reminded me that I'm here to do things differently and to continue to awaken to the fullest expression of myself. And that means being uncomfortable and hearing hard things so that I may rise past those hard things and get back to what was calling me forward. Today, as it has become a master in showing me compassion, my soul's voice now invites me to possibility, potential, and adventure. And your soul's voice, should you allow it, will help you realize how okay and enough you truly are. And then it can help you take inspired action from a place of peace and confidence. And that action naturally comes from your truest desires, because your inner voice knows your desires before your mind can even find the words to articulate them. It connects to all the parts of you and senses what lights you up and interprets those as desires, even before you can articulate a goal or intention. The inner voice works with the senses of the body, your intuition, your awareness, and your brilliant mind to understand what you want. So when your body gets all lit up and achy watching two lovers hug, the soul's voice can share that you may wish for connection. When your intuition senses something feeling not quite right, the soul's voice can share that you wish for a sense of or actual safety. And when your mind receives an idea or concept that feels made for you, the soul's voice can share that you wish to pursue a new purpose on the path of your ever unfolding purpose. The soul's voice knows things before you do. And now my soul's voice guides me toward peace and adventure. But there is another reason why I feel it's worthwhile to surface the voice of your soul, and I'm going to invite you to follow me for just a moment as I take you on this journey. If you can show yourself all the compassion, if you can remember your wholeness in all situations, even in tough situations. If you can come back home to yourself, you can then begin allowing your natural passions to become your compass. And your natural passions often are an extension of your healing. So if you pursue your healing and your passions, you will feel more fulfilled. And then you return to the core of the core of the core of your truth, of who you are, your most integrated self, the soul who wishes for peace and prosperity, not just for yourself, but for all. And eventually, your compassion overflows to those around you. And eventually, others may see your wholeness and wish to come back home to themselves as well. And eventually, others see you allow your natural passions to rise, to be pursued, to be your compass, with far less judgment and a lot more peace. And as others witness your growth and expansion, they are inspired to follow their own growth and expansion. And as they return to their wholeness and grow and expand, we then transform into a humanity, a collective, one unified soul who wishes for peace and prosperity for all. And we all return to the core of our one unified truth. We become more interconnected. And that wave, aligned with a better story and service and science, will transform into a humanity that has one vision for peace and prosperity for all, for the planet, for all living creatures, and for each other. And that's why you surfacing your soul is worthwhile. And if you ask my soul, it is one of the keys to remembering how beautiful this planet has been, can be, and will be again. Okay, that's a lot for one video, but I hope it feels as good in your soul as it does in mine. Over several videos, I'm sharing a lot more about the voice of the soul, and that's because it has changed my life. It has helped me remember my wholeness. It has helped me come home to myself. It has helped me become my most integrated self. It has shown me that the answers for any question are always within me. It has taught me to trust myself completely. And it has launched me toward adventure and a far better life than I could have ever imagined. And now I live a life almost entirely guided by my soul. If you'd like to hear more about the soul's voice, or even hear messages from my own soul's voice, I invite you to join my community where I text you those audio messages. Or you may be interested in downloading my 1-hour workshop on awakening your soul's voice. All of it is at wearemagic.studio. Until my next video, may your peace bring you all sorts of magic. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back very soon.